All right, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about cussing and wrongful speech, okay, and how you should be using your tongue, how you should be acting, okay. We're going to do all this in the New Testament, all right. So let's go to Ephesians chapter 4, starting in 25. It says, "Therefore, putting away lying, let each one of you speak truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath, nor give place to the devil. Let him who stole, steal no more." Okay. Let's skip down. Well, I'll read it. All right. "Let him who stole steal no longer, but rather let him labor, working with his hands what is good, that he may have something to give him who has need." Here we go. "Let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for necessary edification, that it may impart grace to the hearers. And do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, by whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Let all bitterness, wrath, anger, clamor, and evil speaking be put away from you. With all malice, be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you." All right. So what I want to talk to here in that is two things. Number one, put away lying. We should not be lying. That is a commandment, thou shalt not lie. And we should also put away corrupt words, any kind of corrupt words, any kind of, let nothing corrupt come out of your mouth, okay? You got a lot of Hebrew Israelites that's, they saying things that I feel like they shouldn't be saying. Cussing, saying words that they shouldn't be saying, and saying things in a way that, that is not helping the hearer. It's only hurting, throwing insults, using the word, using the Bible to cut people up. We shouldn't do that. We should speak the word, teach in meekness, in humbleness, knowing that we were just in that position. Okay, we're trying to get people out of that position. And saying that, I know that there's a lot of people who wish that the Gentiles would not be saved. They don't want to tell them this word. They don't want to give them anything because they feel like, I don't want y'all to be saved. I want y'all to all die. The most horrible death possible, And I want you guys to understand that should not be our way. That shouldn't be our thinking. That shouldn't come out of our mouth, because what comes out your mouth, you probably think about it 10 times worse in your heart. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Ephesians 5, starting verse 3. Ephesians 5. Okay, it says, "But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not even be named amongst you." Okay, but fornication and all uncleanness, all sorts of unclean things coming out of your mouth, okay, as is fitting for saints. "Oh, let it not even be named among you as is fitting for saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor coarse jesting, which is not fitting, but rather giving of thanks." That's what I want to hit in this, is filthiness of tongue, cuss words, cussing, okay, is filthiness. I could go into it, but I'm not even going to go there. I was fixing to be like, instead of saying, one word, they say the other. When you don't have to. They say things that they don't have to. You can get your point across without using worldly cuss words, okay? And coarse jesting, cracking jokes about each other, talking about each other, cutting each other down, with words. That is not cool. Saying just stupid, like racist type stuff. We shouldn't be saying that. I'm sorry, there's a truck backing up right next to me. All right, this is why I leave my windows up. The one time I roll my window down, then this happens. All right, so like I said, coarse jesting, cracking jokes, talking about each other, cutting each other down about what somebody wears or how they think or how they look or whatever. All of that, no, that's not pleasing to y'all. And I'm reading this right out the word, okay? So y'all can stop saying, oh, it's not bad. You know, it's okay to say this, say that. No, it's not cool. It's not cool. All right? Because the word says it's not cool. And I say it's not cool. Colossians chapter 3, starting in verse 8. It says, but now you yourselves are to put off these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy language out of your mouth. Do not lie to one another, since you have put off the old man with his deeds, and have put on the new man, who is renewed in knowledge, according to the image of him who created him. Where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcised nor uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave nor free, but Christ is all and in all. Okay? We are to treat each other, especially those who are in the kingdom, and even those who are not in the kingdom. You should walk in a way to where even Gentiles don't have anything evil to say about you. Even people who don't care anything about the word, about the law, about any of that, you know, your bosses, your neighbors, stuff like that, who don't care nothing about it. Don't give them anything to talk about. Definitely don't let it be true. Especially what comes out your mouth. Okay? If they hear you using the N word and using the B word and using the H words and using the S words and all these other words, if they hear you using that, they're going to say, you're not saved. You're not saved. You're not like Christ. And if Christ is like you, I don't want to be like him. That's what they're going to say. So we need to watch what we say, watch what we do, because people are always judging you. Once you say you are a Hebrew Israelite, once you say you're a follower of the way, once you say, you know, you put Yahweh first and you do everything that he says, if they hear something coming out your mouth that it does not line up with his word, to you and your God are liars. And no one wants to be like you. We're here to save the world, not give them reason to run away from us. We want the world to come to us, to know that we are the safe place, to know that we are the new rulers of this world, and we will rule with integrity. And all right, let's go now to the book of James. We're going to start in chapter 3. We'll start at the top. Let's go to start at verse 1. It says, my brethren, let not many of you become teachers, knowing that we shall receive a stricter judgment. Okay, you have like preachers that get up and they teach things that they know are not true. They know that what they're saying is not true. They will be judged much harsher because the souls of other people are in their hands, which is why I try to teach only out of the word. I try not to interject too much of what I think and how I feel, because it really doesn't matter. If it's not rooted in the word, if it's just my feelings, my thoughts, it really doesn't matter. Okay? The only thing that matters to us is the word. All right? Knowing that we shall receive the stricter judgment, for we all stumble in many things. If anyone does not stumble in word, he is a perfect man. That is the strife. That's what we're striving for. Not stumbling in deed nor in word. That is the seal of Yah that is on your hand and your forehead. Your hand because of what your actions are. Your forehead because of what you think. If you can keep your stomach under control of what you eat and the emotion of hunger and eating, if you can keep that under control, and your tongue, then you're good. You can control your whole body. Okay? It says if a person, we all stumble in many things. If anyone does not stumble in word, he's a perfect man, able also to bridle the whole body. So if you can control your tongue, you can control your whole body. And I add the stomach because your stomach is just a feeling. Okay? If you can control and say no to the feeling of I just want to eat, even when I'm not hungry, even when there's no reason. I just want something to eat, just want something to drink, just because. That is the base of covetousness, okay, is following after those impulses of I want. That's how covetousness starts. So if you can control your stomach, what you eat, you can control covetousness, which is the basis of a whole lot of other sins, okay? And if you can control your tongue, then it is possible for you to control your entire body, okay? It starts with your tongue. Not cursing, not sitting up here cussing, saying all the horrible words that we used to say in the world, all right? If a worldly person, a sinful person, an evil person says evil things, sinful things, okay? Godly people shouldn't do that. We shouldn't be like that, all right? We should only speak as Christ spoke. Do Christ use the N-word all the time? No, never. Would Christ have used, I mean, if he was here today, which he is in spirit, but if he was here in body, would he be using these words, these derogatory terms? Would he say stuff like that? No, never. All right. Verse 3, indeed, we put bits in horses' mouths that they may obey us, and we turn their whole body. So your whole body can be turned by your tongue. When you speak, like even saying stuff like, oh, I'm so stupid. When you speak stuff like that, it turns your whole body into a direction. All right. So we need to watch what we say, because it turns the path that we're on differently. Okay. I see a lot of these Hebrew Israelites using a lot of language on the streets because, they grew up in the streets, they grew up in that area, and that's just how everybody speaks. So they continue to speak that way, even though they're new creatures. They continue to speak the way of the streets. And if I hear you speaking that way, then I think you're not really saved. You're walking in the flesh, because you have not learned yet that you can't talk like that. Christ would never speak like that. A king, a prince, a princess would never speak like that. Okay? We would never say such things. And we are not like an animal. We are not a horse that has to be controlled. Okay? We don't have to be controlled like that. We shouldn't. For us to live the way Yah wants us to live, he should not have to put a physical thing in our mouth to make us obey. He shouldn't have to. But it's a whole lot of people. That's how it is. They cannot do it on their own. They're not going to make it into heaven if you cannot control your body, your thoughts, your emotions, your mouth. If you cannot control it, you can't be in heaven. Okay? You're too carnal. You're too worldly. All right? Okay, verse 4. Look also at ships. Although they are so large and are driven by fierce winds, they are turned by a very small rudder wherever the pilot desires. Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasts great things. You see, if someone else can get you to say what they want you to say. Let's use music. There's songs that are so catchy. We catch ourselves singing it. Even if we don't listen to that music, just being on YouTube, just watching YouTube shorts, just sitting there scrolling, all the, Kendrick Lamar songs, all like the top songs of the day, because everyone uses them on the little TikTok videos and other people upload them onto YouTube. So, of all the top songs of the day, and they're so catchy, you find yourself singing it sometimes. And it's crazy. Someone else can control your tongue. They can control the direction that you go in. They can get you to put curses on yourself and on others just by having catchy phrases in songs. Okay? Let's go. So don't let someone else control you by music or, a lot of people, even my kids do this. They'll recite something that's on a movie or an anime or a cartoon or something. And I'll be like, what are y'all saying? And all of them are saying, it'll be, 5 of them saying it. And I'm like, what are y'all saying? Oh, man, you ain't watched the Boondocks? You better not be watching that trash neither. I don't know what a boondock is, but it don't sound good. Don't watch that trash, because I don't like what you're saying. And I have to remind them all the time of that kind of stuff. But they go to school, society. It's just trying to get it out of them. But we're steady working on it. But let's keep going. Let's see. See how great a forest a little fire kindles. Look at the wildfires in California. Look at the wildfires around the world. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. The tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body. What you say will defile your whole body. You mess around and curse somebody out that you shouldn't. You let your tongue get you in trouble like that. They call it crashing out now. And you allow your tongue to cause you to crash out. Now you in jail because you wanted to curse somebody out. You just couldn't hold it, couldn't handle it. Let's see. I got to start over. I forget where I'm at. The tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body and sets on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire by hell. Every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and creature of the sea is tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no man can tame the tongue. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. With it we bless our God and Father, and with it we curse men who have been made in the similitude of Yahweh. Out of the same mouth proceed blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be so. Does a spring send forth fresh water and bitter from the same opening? Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olives, or a grapevine bear figs? Thus no spring yields both salt water and fresh. You cannot be holy, godly, set apart, the remnant, if your mouth says you're not. Let me say that again. You cannot be holy, godly, set apart, the remnant. You cannot be those things if your mouth does not line up with the word. If you're saying things from the streets, if you're saying cuss words, if you're cracking jokes that are derogatory, that are hateful, hurtful, knowing that you're hurting people's feelings, cutting them down, you cannot be of Yah. You can't. You can't be both. You can't be of the world and of Yah at the same time. You can't be both. You got to figure out which one you are and stick with it. Okay? All right. Should I keep going? Man, there's some good stuff in this next part. Okay. Who is wise and understanding among him? Let him show by good conducts that his works are done in meekness and wisdom. But if you have bitter envy and self-seeking in your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth. You get that? If you have parts of the world in you, it's going to come out of your mouth. It's going to come out in your actions. Okay? It's going to be evident to other people. And you are lying. You're lying when you say you're of Yah. And you're got 1 foot in the world and 1 foot in Yah. I don't care if you're a Hebrew Israelite. I don't care who you are or what you are. You can't have it both ways. I had to learn this lesson the very hard way. Yah had to tell me over and over and over again. All right, my phone keeps getting too hot and cutting off. All of a sudden, just cutting off. So I apologize about that. It's hot out here. It's hot down here in the South. 70-something degrees outside, and these cell phones, they don't like being in the sun like mine is right now. They don't like it. So I apologize, and let me try to hurry up and get through this. My last one I want to hit is 1 Peter chapter 4, and we're going to start in verse 11. It says, if anyone speaks, let him speak as he's saying the words of Yah. They use the word oracle in here, but I know from the Old Testament, Yah says, do not ever say, what are the oracles of Yah? And I don't know why the Greeks in the New Testament decided that that was okay to say, especially when the Old Testament says, don't ever do that, because heathen do that. Because the Greeks were heathen, because they were Gentiles. They served other gods previously. When they came into the faith, they brought some of those bad habits. And I don't like that. I don't like that they actually wrote it and it's in here like that. Okay, but anyway, if you're going to speak as if you are representing Yah. Would Yeshua, when I was in high school, they had the thing going around with all the bracelets, say, what would Jesus do? I would say this. You have to think about, how would Yeshua speak? How would he use his words? And we use our words the same way. Would those things, the language that they use on the streets, would that be brought into the house of Yah? We can't. We can't. Everything we say, we have to say it as if it is coming from the voice, from the word of Yah. And if we don't have Yah really living in us, then we cannot possibly know that we can't use certain language. And there's a lot of my IUIC brothers, Sakari brothers, ISUPK brothers. There's a lot of y'all out here using language that you just cannot use. It's not cool. And I pray that y'all get it. I pray that y'all understand who you are. You know who you are, but that who you represent every time you open your mouth, cutting people up with the word, using language that you shouldn't. All right? And with that, I'm going to let it go. I will see y'all on the next video. Have a great one. Shalom.